Hey, good morning. Happy coffee talk. It's Wednesday morning. And I'm sitting at my desk. It's nice and cool out in Washington State today. The sun is gone, so long ago was I in Hawaii, it feels like, because it's clouds and I don't know, it's probably like in the 60s today. So I'm not complaining because it's actually kind of nice. The windows are open at my house, it's that kind of vibe. And I'm drinking hot lava coffee from Hawaii. This coffee is really good. So I have to say that I've had Kona coffee before, and I think I got tricked because the Kona coffee that I had before I didn't like. And maybe it was because it was a blend or something weird. But this coffee is supposed to be like 100% Kona coffee. They probably still blend it, who knows? But it's supposed to be 100% Kona coffee, and I can significantly tell a difference. Like, it is delicious. I could drink this coffee forever. And it's the medium caffeine one because, as you guys know, I'm trying to slowly decrease my caffeine. So it's not half calf, it's not like decaf, but it is not the like knock your socks off caffeine one, which they had at the market that I bought this, but I bought it. I just haven't drank it. So I'm not even going to lie to you and say that I didn't buy it. I did buy the knock your socks off caffeine one, but I'm not drinking that one. I'm drinking the regular medium one. So I'm sharing that with you as a win. P.S. I also bought decaf Nespresso pods. So I know that a couple weeks ago I shared with you that my coach is encouraging me to cut back on my caffeine. Ironically, on the Coffee Talk podcast, I have to tell you about that. So, what I'm doing is here's what I've done. I have decided I'm not drinking any caffeine past noon. That is how I'm currently cutting back. And no more Starbucks. I'm taking a break. I've done too much Starbucks over the past year. And so I'll just have my morning coffee that I brew in my coffee pot, and then that's a wrap. I'm not going to say no more Starbucks forever. I'm just saying no more Starbucks is a regular thing. I got to be honest about my commitments. We can't just like make broad stroke commitments without inserting like the literal implementation. I promise this is important. Like if you ever are like, I am never having sugar again, that's not helping you. In fact, that's like tricking your brain because you're just like lying to yourself. And so you want to say, I am not having sugar in my house that is left over from holidays anymore, and make it specific and then get rid of it. And so I think I could talk a little bit more about those kind of like broad stroke commitments as the coffee talk message for this morning. Oh, and I didn't share my mug. So my mug this morning is pretty much one of my chill ones. This one doesn't have like a lot of sentimental value. I just personally love it. It's like the color of a robin egg. It almost reminds me of a robin egg, and it has like a brown rim, and it just is a really cool I don't know, just a really cool pottery mug. But what I really like about it details wise is it's wider on the bottom than the top, and so for some reason that makes it feel like some kind of like chalice or something cool from Lord of the Rings, or Game of Thrones or something. I don't know. So anyways, I'm really enjoying my coffee, but I wanted to talk to you about these like broad stroke commitments that we make, and break it down a little bit into why these verbal promises that we know we're going to break matter. So ultimately, and we're not going to go down some kind of philosophical rabbit hole, but I think we all understand that we can talk to ourselves. So let's just leave it at that. We don't have to go down like the self, in the versions of the self and all of that kind of things. But we talk to ourselves, right? So like your conscious brain can speak to yourself and say things like, you got this, you're gonna have a great day, like don't be afraid, all those things. We're talking to ourselves. We can also say mean things to ourselves, right? We can say things that we internalize that actually impact how we feel. So if someone if someone was raised in a home where they heard a lot of negative language around bodies, then they're going to say in their head a lot of negative language around their own body, and they internalize it and believe it. They repeat it often, and that those words become what they believe. So words are super powerful even when we speak them to ourselves. And so changing your language can be really important. So I want to take that one step further and say that changing your commitments to yourself, especially ones that you verbalize, you say it out loud, are even equally as powerful, to be honest, because you are saying something to yourself and then not following through on it. So I want to give you an example. Like if you had a child that's old enough to understand, maybe like 7, 8, 9, and you said to them, hey, I promise we're going to go to whatever. I promise we're going to the store, the ice cream store after work today. I promise we are going to the ice cream store. But then that time passes and you don't go. And then the next day you're like, I promise we're going to go to the ice cream store after work tomorrow. I promise we're going to do it, and you tell this person who believes you, because the default setting is, I believe you. So you tell them, but then you don't do it. And then you tell them again and you don't do it. Well, eventually even a child would stop believing you. They would just know that those words don't mean anything. They would no longer expect you to take them to the ice cream store. They would just say, she's just saying stuff. So your own internal mind works the same. And you have a relationship with yourself. We talk about this often, like in terms of our body image, but you have a relationship with yourself just in terms of trust. When you say something to the effect of, I am taking a break from alcohol for the next 30 days, but then you don't, you're breaking that promise that you made to yourself. And so maybe you say something else. I promise after work today, I'm going to go to the gym. I am committed. I'm going. And you tell yourself, we're going to the gym after work today, no matter what. But then you don't go. You have broken another promise to yourself. Over time, you stop taking yourself seriously. The things that you say no longer matter. They don't have weight. They don't carry any follow through. And so when you make a promise to yourself that you actually plan to keep, so say you are like, I am fed up with how I feel in my body. I am committed. I am going to, clean up my junk food. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done with snacking. And you say that to yourself and you really mean it. Your follow through will be weak because you've practiced not keeping promises to yourself. You've practiced it. And so then you're going to struggle with being able to do that. Even though you intend to do it, your word is not legitimate anymore. And your internal mind knows it. I'll just recommit tomorrow. This commitment didn't mean anything. So I want to challenge you, again, no judgment. This is something that a lot of us get into, and I certainly have before. How do you fix it? The way that you fix it is that you start making small promises that you will absolutely 100% keep, and you reestablish trust with yourself. So that, like, if you say, I promise to make my bed every morning, there is zero reason. That's not a hard promise to keep. So you have the opportunity to check the box, the trust box for yourself, and keep that promise. Okay, I got up, I made my bed, promise kept. All right, I'm serious about this. I actually overslept, but I still made my bed, promise kept. And you reestablish trust with your own word. There's a great book called The 4 Agreements, and one of the 4 agreements is to be impeccable with your words, specifically the words that you say to yourself. And so this is something that you can do right now. And then what happens is, as you build the trust, as you build the follow through, then your word becomes more powerful and you start to be able to do more. If you say to yourself, I am taking a break from alcohol for the next 30 days, you're not kidding. You will do it. And you have practiced keeping promises to yourself. And so you would take it very seriously if you changed your mind over the weekend because you got invited to a thing and you didn't want to be the person who's not drinking. Well, you would take that very seriously. You would realize, man, I cannot break this promise to myself. My word matters. And I said I was doing this and I'm going to follow through. We all know people who are like that. We admire them. We're like, man, you have discipline. Nope. It's not discipline. They just are committed to keeping their promises to themselves. And so does it happen that sometimes you have the absolute best intentions and it didn't happen? Yeah, we know that's true too. If you have somebody you trust who keeps their word all the time, and then once in a blue moon, they're like, hey, I'm going to meet you for lunch, and then something came up and they just didn't make it, you wouldn't lose all trust in them, you would know, man, that never happens. Like something was up that they couldn't follow through on their commitment. It's the same with us. You don't lose trust if once in a blue moon something legitimately comes up and you can't keep the promise. It's the repetition that matters. So that's my coffee talk message for this morning. I love this one. This one to me is so key because this is how you make changes in your nutrition. This is how you make changes in the way you talk to yourself. This is how you become a more confident person, a more happy person, and it starts with keeping promises. So when I say things about my caffeine, I always make sure to insert like the caveat. I'm done with Starbucks. I quit. Nope. I didn't quit Starbucks. I just quit doing Starbucks on my regular day and not after lunchtime anymore. That's what I did. So I can follow through on that and not break my word. So that's my coffee talk message for this morning. Thank you for spending, a few minutes with me, drinking coffee and thinking about our days and how we can make ourselves better. If you haven't done so, I want to ask a favor, which is, if you go to your favorite podcast app, if you could leave me a review. So you can, any review, like positive, negative, whatever, but give me a 4-star rating if you like it, or 5 stars if there is a 5 stars, and then write a review. It means a lot to me, but it also helps Fit Me Coffee Talk podcast be more searchable and people can find it. And so if you have a free second today, do me a huge solid and write me a review. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and are not in the Fit Me Free Intro Facebook group, I want to personally invite you into the group because we are doing a Plateau Buster Challenge. There are helpful posts in there every single day showing you how to do a diet-free, healthy lifestyle that works for weight loss. It absolutely works. And you do not have to do anything complicated or unsustainable. We can show you how to do it. So come to the Fit Me Free Intro Facebook group and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.